Despite a ceasefire agreement in Syria, many analysts say that the situation on the ground remains the same. In fact, they say it could even get even worse. Russia stands to gain more power as critics blast President Obama for showing weakness in the conflict. In Munich, the U.S., Russia, and European powers agreed to allow humanitarian relief into Syria and a cessation of hostilities throughout the country. Still, the Russians continue to bomb rebel forces supported by the U.S. and Saudi Arabia.
The Russians will not stop their air raids, and with the ground support of Hezbollah, Iranian, and other Shiite militias worldwide coming from Afghanistan, from Tajikistan, from other places, I think the Russians and the Iranians want to make Assad regime survive, and they will do everything. Now they are on the offense. I think they will not stop at nothing.
Syrian and Iranian forces backed by Russian airstrikes are closing in on Aleppo, Syria's largest city. If they take the city, it could change the course of the war and strike a major blow to President Obama's Middle East policy. Located in northwest Syria, Aleppo is one of the rebels' last strongholds. There was a stalemate between the rebels and the Assad regime until Russia came in and tipped the scales.
Some months into the Russian intervention, the sense right now is it really is beginning to take hold and have a very powerful effect on the battlefield, to the detriment of the rebellion and to the advantage of the Assad regime.
While the fate of a faraway Syrian city might seem unimportant to Americans, it represents a major geopolitical shift in the region.
The substantial Russian military buildup in Syria and the eastern Mediterranean is also shifting the strategic balance in this part of the Mediterranean. So I call on calm, de-escalation, and a political solution to the conflict in Syria.
Yet Middle East expert Jonathan Spire believes Russia wants a battlefield solution.
If they succeed in that, it means that the Syrian map of protagonists, so to speak, will leave only the regime itself with its Russian, Iranian and Iranian backers, the Kurds and Islamic State. It'll be a very major change. That, I think, is what Putin and his allies are going for.
If Putin, Assad and Iran succeed, it means a setback for the U.S. and the West.
If they achieve this goal, would have achieved strategic victory in a vital conflict zone in the Middle East. There's no such thing as a vacuum. This is a zero-sum game. So growing strength for the Russians and the Iranians means growing perceived weakness for the West.
We are now in the midst of historic change in the Middle East, and the United States is not there.
Many people believe it really is a historic change in the region. Well, one thing that hasn't changed is the violence and bloodshed. A Russian airstrike destroyed a hospital run by the international aid group Doctors Without Borders in northern Syria. At least 9 people are dead and several others wounded or missing. The group says the hospital was deliberately targeted. All members of the medical team inside the structure are believed to be dead. The hospital provided medical care to an area of more than 40,000 people.